Hello, my name is Leslie Gatling, and I wanted to take a few moments to introduce myself and tell you a little about a title change software I have developed. About 38 years ago, I went to work as a landman for some guys I went to law school with in Mississippi. I showed up at the courthouse in Walthall County in a three-piece suit and a briefcase full of legal pads ready to run title. After 38 years in numerous states running title, the three-piece suits, the briefcases, and legal pads have become somewhat obsolete or to some degree not conducive to getting the job done. There have been many advances in the digital world as a gathering of documentation for title review, but very little in the management of chaining of title. Most of us have gravitated to the Excel spreadsheet of our own design or someone else's where we are trying to convert a numbers software into a numbers and narrative database. And then we spend hours, if not days, trying to acclimate to the spreadsheet so we can answer any questions or recheck our work or handshake off to the broker or client, and they spend hours trying to acclimate themselves to do likewise. Well, I saw a need, so for the last 4 years, I have designed a professional title change software for the attorney and landman that you do not have to have an IT degree to use. It's a simple menu-driven software. It is compatible with Mac and Windows operating system, works with section, township, and range, map and parcel, or surveys, converts to a PDF flowchart at the push of a button. The flowchart encapsulates the data into a polygon and attaches an arrow in the direction of the title flow. The software aesthetically adjusts and balances the flowchart for uniformity and quick recognition. It allows for quick selection of multiple polygon shapes and colors for quick reference and identification purposes. And it uploads into an Excel spreadsheet at the push of a button. You can preset and store an Excel template, and it will only upload and print the data selected in the rows and columns in the order desired. You can copy and paste a digital copy of the actual document into the attachment field. You can link multiple tracts or instruments of the title chain by one transaction, can copy and paste any field content, data, descriptions, special clauses, reservation language, or comments into any subsequent instrument field. All the user data is stored on the user server, not the software server. Only the software is downloaded, no work data is uploaded, and no third parties have access to your data or your area of interest. No high dollar fees for software server usage, and you don't have to ask for your data back or pay to get it. No internet connection is necessary to run and use this software. You will be able to use in rural areas, hotels, courthouses, planes, trains, and automobiles. No more disrupted service because of lack or loss of internet connection. Has search function capabilities for the entire file and highlights in bold print any data matching search criteria for quick recognition. Can edit, insert subsequently recorded or missing instruments at any time, can open multiple chain files at one time, can copy and paste portions or whole title chains from other files that have similar title flow to prevent duplicate work. The software allows for uniformity of title, and the PDF allows for quick acclimation and easy review of the field landman's work when questions arise, and real-time monitoring of the title process. You can handshake files from the landman to broker, broker to client, and client to attorney. Files can be copied and pasted, emailed, and can be opened and reviewed by anyone with the software. Now, if you will, please stay with me, and I will walk you through some of the functions of the software. When you open the title chain program, it will prompt you to start a new file or open an existing one. I'm opening an existing file to expedite this demonstration. All new files open up with the grantee being the USA. You can change the original grantee if you're not going back to patent. To insert an instrument, place the cursor on the instrument you want to insert under, right-click, and pick Insert Instrument. Or you can access this function from the Instrument drop-down menu on the top toolbar. You continue this process as your title flows out. Each instrument is automatically assigned a transaction number by the software. This number will appear at the top of the data entry field. You can also use this number to link multiple interests into one instrument. Transaction document 303 acquires the interest of transaction document owners 298, 299, 300, 301, and 302 in one instrument. Instead of loading the document and data under each interest, you can load the data once and then insert the transaction number in the Link to Forward field in the other four instruments, and it will automatically connect these instruments with one entry. Each field has a copy and paste function. You can copy and paste any field content, data descriptions, special clauses, reservation language, or comments to any subsequent instrument field. You can attach digital copies of the instruments examined into attachment. Click Attachment field. The attachment box will pop up. Click Add, New, locate the instrument to be attached. Double-click the instrument. Repeat the process if multiple pages. Each time you copy an instrument, it will appear in an attachment pop-up box. You can attach JPEGs and PDFs. If you want to be able to scroll through the entire attachment when you open it, check the Actions box on the instrument and click Combine Selected, and it will combine all attached instruments into one file that will allow you to scroll through the entire document once you open it. To save space, you can then erase the single attachments by checking the Action box and then select Delete. Color can be manually attached to instruments by placing the cursor on the instrument and then clicking the color field on the data entry panel on the right. From the drop-down menu, click the color desired. The instrument will change to that color on the data display line on the left of the data screen in the flowchart when printed. These colors are extremely useful for quick reference and identification purposes. There are check boxes that identify current mineral owners, current leases, current surface owners. These colors show up on the flowchart, but not on the data display line on the left of the data screen. The manual color field will override the checkbox selections. I have already created a file and color-coded the instruments in question to expedite this demonstration. I have subsequently determined that I have misindexed a number of instruments under the wrong leg of the title chain. I mistakenly identified John Jones Jr. as John Jones Sr. Instead of re-entering all the data for several instruments, I can copy and paste a leg or a portion of the leg in the title chain. Go to and click on the first instrument and the portion of the leg in the chain that you want to copy. In this instance, it will be Transaction Document 18. And right-click, Copy, and then Copy with Children. Or you can access this function from the Instrument drop-down menu on the top toolbar. This will allow you to copy Transaction Document 18 and all subsequent documents in that leg. Once this is done, go to the leg and document you want to paste to. In this instance, it will be Transaction Document 28. Click on the Transaction Document 28, right-click Paste, and then Paste with Children. Or you can access this function from the Instrument drop-down menu on the top toolbar. The instruments copied and pasted should now appear under Transaction Document 28. Go back to and click on the first instrument in the portion of the chain you copied, Transaction Document 18, and right-click Delete and Enter. This should delete Transaction Document 18 and all the subsequent documents in that leg. If you click Delete Single, it will only delete the transaction document you clicked on. Transaction Document 94, the magenta oval-shaped document, represents a break in the chain of title. For sample purposes, Transaction Documents 126 and 127 will represent subsequently recorded instruments pertaining to this leg that you want to paste inside of this leg in lieu of Transaction Document 94. Go to Transaction Document 127, follow the same protocol, right-click Copy, and then Copy Selection. Go to Transaction Document 94, and then click on the instrument right below Transaction Document 94, which would be Transaction Document 12. Then click Paste, and then Paste Parent. This places the copied document inside the same leg just above the instrument insertion point. This procedure is used to insert a document between existing documents in the same leg. Repeat the same process for Transaction Document 126 and insert above Transaction Document 128. Then click on Transaction Document 94, right-click Delete Single, and enter. This deletes only Transaction 94. Be sure and distinguish the difference between delete and delete single. This software is a search feature that is particularly helpful when the title gets detailed and convoluted. Say Mr. Wilpence calls and claims he has an ownership in this section and it has not been leased. Type his name in the search field on the heading bar, and all the entries in the title chain that meet the search criteria will be highlighted in bold. Scroll through the chain and locate the entries in bold. I have located 3 entries covering the same tract, and note that the comments show the minerals have previously been reserved. I highlight the entries in magenta and print the flowchart. I attached a color to expedite location of the entries on the flowchart. I locate the entries on the flowchart in magenta and scroll up the chain of the title to the instruments where the minerals were reserved. Had the instrument been attached, I could double-click on the attachment field and view the actual document to verify that the mineral reservation was valid. Using this program and flowchart makes it a much easier process to check your work, answer any questions, and manage the chaining of title. Unlike the Excel spreadsheet, you don't waste time acclimating yourself to the work already done. I've already created a file and color-coded the instruments in question to expedite this demonstration. This demonstration shows the benefits of this software running map and parcel ownerships. After the surface document chain has been compiled, you can assign out portions of the chain to multiple parties so they can run the grantor-grantee indices all at the same time to expedite the title process. Once they have completed the grantor-grantee search of their portion, they can provide a copy of their file, and you can copy and paste that portion back into the original chain. For demonstration purposes, we will let the blue documents represent the period of time we are assigning out for a grantor-grantee search. I have copied the original chain and created a new file. I have changed the color of the blue documents to magenta to distinguish the difference in the documents when we copy and paste the finished search back into the original chain. It is not necessary to color all the documents in that portion being assigned, but it is helpful to color 2 or 3 at the beginning and the end of the portion being assigned to be able to more readily distinguish the area being worked. After you create a separate file to be assigned for the grantor-grantee search, you should delete all the documents below that portion being assigned. In the newly created file to be assigned, in this case the magenta documents, this eliminates copying all subsequent files not being worked by this party when you copy and paste back into the original chain. Once the grantor-grantee search is completed and you have the files available to copy, go to the first document of the portion assigned for the grantor-grantee search, in this case Transaction Document 18. Click on Transaction Document 18 and right-click Copy and then Copy with Children. Or you can access this function from the Instrument drop-down menu on the top toolbar. Then go to the original file and click on Transaction Document 20, the last document in that portion that was assigned for the grantor-grantee search. Right-click Paste, then Paste with Children. You can access this from the Instrument drop-down menu on the top toolbar. The portion assigned and researched should now appear in the original chain along with all the new documents found in the search. Since you copied and pasted the original documents being researched back into the original chain, you should erase one set of these documents, in this case the blue documents. So go to Transaction 18 in blue, right-click, and then Delete Single. Repeat this process until you have deleted all the instruments duplicated, all in blue. Transaction documents 18, 19, and 20. Transaction documents 49, 50, and 51 in magenta should be the same transaction documents 18, 19, 20 in blue. This is why it's important to at least color the beginning and end of the documents being assigned for the grantor-grantee so you can identify the duplicates when copied back into the original chain. Also remember to delete single, otherwise if you choose delete, you will delete all the documents from that point on in the leg of the title chain. If you make this mistake, you can click the undo arrow and it will take you back to your prior position.